Now to this, a protest is underway for an 11-year-old boy who was shot by a police officer in Indianola, Mississippi. Aderrien Murray was shot in the chest this weekend when officers responded to a domestic call at his home. His family wants the officer to be fired and charged. Murray has been released from the hospital and he is recovering at home, which is good news. Body camera footage of the incident, though, has not yet been released. CBS News correspondent Omar Villafranca is closely following the story, and he joins us now. Omar, thanks for being with us. Can you break down the timeline of the shooting and what we know about what exactly happened?
All right, let me give you a little timeline that we just got from the attorney, Carlos Moore. He told us that there was a domestic issue that was going on late or early Saturday morning here in Indianola. And the mom, her name is Aderrien Murry, was having a dispute with her daughter's father. He had come over and was knocking on the door. They came in and they started arguing. She said that she handed the phone back to her son, Aderrien, and just said, "Hey, call grandma and call the police. You know, he's upset." She handed him the phone to call for help. He did. He called for help and said, "Hey, you know, this is going on. Please come over and help." Grandma was on the way as well. Well, Carlos Moore, the attorney for the family, told me that when officers showed up, that he said basically they were coming in hot. And Aderrien Murry told me the same thing. It went from banging on the door to trying to kick the door in. She opened it up and she said that guns were drawn and, "Hey, everybody get out with their hands up." Well, when that happened, she says that the father of her daughter ran out on the backside. She came out with her hands up and told them, obviously, since a child had made the call, there are kids that are inside the house. So the officer, she said, yelled for everybody who's inside the house to come on out. She's walking out, her mother is there looking in, and when that happened, she said that her son came around the corner with his hands up. Officer shot him. This is their side of the story. And she said that he was hit in the chest and he was in shock and ran to her and basically stumbled in her arms and was asking her, why did they shoot me? He thought at first it was a taser. He was airlifted to a hospital in Jackson, Mississippi. He was on oxygen, not on a ventilator. She clarified that for damage to his lung, and it went in here and came out the back. But her words, by the grace of God, he is home. He is alive, and he's physically recovering, and emotionally, she said it's going to be a long journey. What they're protesting for, and let me shift over here a little bit so you can kind of see, it's a press conference, the protest hasn't exactly started. They want the body cam video from that incident released. They have identified the officer as Officer Greg Capers of the Indianola Police Department. They want that body cam released. They wanted it released a few days ago. They gave the city 48 hours, and they said the city did not comply. Now the Mississippi authorities here have basically said this is an ongoing investigation. But things have been released, body cam video has been released before an investigation is completed. They're pushing for that because they want to put pressure on the police department to justify their actions, because Attorney Moore says this is not justified and a child was almost killed.
Omar, you know, I noticed like one of the signs, and I think maybe that's Aderrien's mother. It says, "Your best cop," in quotes, "killed my baby." Do we know more about the officer who's been involved in this?
Yeah, we're trying to learn a little bit more. There's not much. We did. Attorneys are saying that a few years ago he was named as Indianola's best officer, and he had just said a little while ago, I was listening, if this is your best officer, then you need to get rid of the whole department and start all over again because of this happened. So that's where they're getting that moniker, the best officer, since he won that award. They want that body camera released, and since he says it hasn't been released in the 48 hours, that building behind me is City Hall. What they plan to do is have a sit-in, and they're going to go in 9 at a time and sit in. One of the city leaders came out and talked to Attorney Moore and said we can't have everybody come in. The maximum they can have come in is 9 at a time. So they're planning on doing a sit-in here to put pressure on the police department and the mayor to release the video that they say will show that the shooting was not justified.
Yeah, it really is remarkable that he survived. Omar, thank you.